Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. I want to begin by apologizing for our starting this program late. The council is required under our rules to have our organizational meeting on the first day of the new council period. That is today. And we ran late, and so we are starting this program late. And again, I apologize. There's no disrespect that was intended with regard to any of the ANC commissioners or the public. So again, my apologies. The program this afternoon, we will have the oaths of office beginning with the members of the Board of Education, and then the United States Senator and Representative, and then the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions. And with regard to the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions, we decided that rather than just going in ward order or picking some other order, we actually do numbers out of a hat, and that will be the order for the ANCs. And that way nobody can feel like Ward 8 is always the first or last, or Ward 1 is always the first or last. So we're going to begin now with the invocation. If Reverend Monsignor Salvatore Pisculo could come forward, he's the pastor and chaplain at St. Patrick Catholic.
Let us now bow our heads in prayer. Lord of all, today we commend our city to your merciful care, that we may follow your guidance and live in peace. We ask that you bless our sisters and brothers who have been called to serve the people of the District of Columbia as advisory neighborhood commissioners, as members of the State Board of Education, and as a shadow delegation in Congress. Fill them, Lord, with the love of truth, of honesty, and righteousness. Make them always remember that they are your servants, called to lead and to serve our city. May they find in you an example of true leadership. Father of all, we offer to your loving and gentle heart our youth. Give them direction in their lives and enable us to always be aware of their needs, our future leaders. May those who are being sworn in this day know your inspiration, continue with your help, and reach perfection under your guidance. We make this prayer today as loyal and faithful servants called upon to do your will. In his name, let us all pray. Amen.
Thank you, Monsignor. We will proceed now to the oaths for the members of the State Board of Education, beginning with Laura Wilson Phelan, newly elected to represent Ward 1. The oath will be administered by Councilmember Brianne Nadeau.
Thank you. And we have some folks from the audience that are going to come up from Laura's family. Just say how excited we are to welcome Laura Wilson Phelan as our new State Board of Ed representative. She's been a hardworking member of the Ward 1 community for many, many years. She'll be joined by her husband and her daughters. I, Laura Wilson Phelan, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the laws of the United States of America and the District of Columbia, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the State Board of Education, which I am about to enter. And now you have. Congratulations.
to the elected officials, community leaders, DC residents, and many friends new and old in Ward 1. I am humbled by the opportunity to serve as the Ward 1 representative to the State Board of Education. As many of my constituents know, I started my career in education almost 20 years ago as a bilingual 7th and 8th grade intercity teacher. Back then, I was one of those young teachers with boundless energy and optimism, some of which I still have, and I poured my heart and my soul into my students. There was one student in particular who drew lots of attention from those around her, and not always the type of attention that a parent of a teenager would want. When I met her, Susie didn't care about school and didn't see her future as being connected to school, but cared a lot about her social networks. She wasn't really all that different from most teenage girls, if you think about what's important to most teenagers these days. But in her neighborhood environment, caring about social networks as much as she did and above anything else left her vulnerable to gangs, violence, and unwanted attention from boys. I saw Susie as a confident, sharp young woman who cared deeply about and often took care of her younger brother. I spent countless hours mentoring her, tutoring her after school, taking her on trips, involving her in soccer, spending time with her family, and even starting a girls' club that linked her and her peers with female role models from the community and beyond. Susie made a lot of progress from our time together. I began to see in her more maturity, of judgment, a deeper understanding of the linkages between academics and her choices later in life. She began to articulate a vision of her future that was grounded in her strengths, with a renewed focus on academics to exploit them. I left teaching at that school at the end of the year to join the Peace Corps, but I thought about Susie often. I was saddened to learn about a year after I left that she became pregnant and dropped out of school. I felt like I had fed her to the wolves, a system that collectively didn't support her strengths, but left them underdeveloped and even buried. As we know, children are surrounded by many influences in life that either support or work against their natural propensity to learn, grow, and thrive. Schools and the adults in them are one source of that influence, but children actually spend only about 15% of every year in school. And therefore, we need to do more to ensure that our systems of support, family, peers, church, neighborhood, are working together from the same page to help children succeed. I believe State Boards of Education representatives here in this city can play an important role in facilitating this at a grassroots level by understanding the challenges that parents, schools, and other elements of our system face, and then work with them to organize resources within communities to address those challenges. I ran for office to bring together the rich resources we have in Ward 1, which are so many, to support our students so that our system isn't the one of wolves, but of stallions, supporting our students to go further and with greater vibrancy and strength. To be successful, we must come together to form bands of support for our students, all of them, both our own and my own, and those of our brothers and sisters. All of our children, especially the Susies, deserve nothing less. I am honored to have the opportunity to fulfill this vision and serve on the State Board of Education for this city. Thank you for the opportunity.
Next, Ruth Wattenberg, who is the new member from Ward 3, will be sworn in. The oath will be administered by Councilmember Mary Che.
Good afternoon, everybody. Delighted to be here with you, and I'm delighted that I was asked by Ruth Wattenberg to swear her in. I do want to say a word, though. She's replacing Laura Slover, who served us so well and decided not to run for office, but I'm happy to report to you. We can celebrate because Ruth is a substitute, in a sense, for somebody who we thought we couldn't replace, but we found a better replacement. Sorry, Laura. In any event, I gave her time to get her family up here. Are you all assembled? Who's holding the Bible? Okay. So you put your left hand on. I, Ruth Wattenberg, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the laws of the United States of America and of the District of Columbia, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the State Board of Education, which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Thanks to all of you who are here, including Delegate Norton, Senator Strauss, members of the council, and all of you from the ANC. And thanks especially to Councilwoman Shea, and not just for swearing me in and that very nice introduction, we won't tell, but also when I was a parent of a Deal sixth grader, who's over there, and the chair of Deal's local school restructuring team, Mary Shea was our go-to person, including when we needed help convincing the powers that be that no, putting dozens of trailers on the newly restored soccer fields behind Deal would not be a good idea as the place to house Wilson's swing space during Wilson's renovation. So now you know some of the things that council members have to deal with. I also want to acknowledge the work of the ANCs. When I was Deal's LSRT chair, I could count on our ANCs for advice and support on so many issues, and I know that's true across the city. A special thanks to John Bender and Matt Fruman for all of the help that they gave me recently and during my time at Deal. Thanks to my family, who are incredible. My dad, who can't be here, my stepmother, brother and sisters and sister-in-law, and to those who were on the stage, my niece Maisie, a third grader at Hearst Elementary, who hit her campaign peak while distributing baby Ruths for Halloween, and remember my name is Ruth. My niece Emma, who was my social media coordinator for that brief, very brief period between her college graduation and getting her first real job. And especially our son and daughter, who together attended Janney, Deal, and Wilson, and from whose experience there and in their life I've learned so much. Michael put up my very first set of signs, which very conveniently arrived the day before he left to Chicago for his first year of college. Lila put up signs, got friends to put them up, and proved that at age 16, she could survive and even thrive while her parents attended largely to other things. Thank you both. And double a special thanks to my husband, David, who made this campaign doable and also lots of fun. You kept our home operating, you advised me, we joked together about the campaign trail, and every night, as chief of visibility, you posted the yard signs that had been ordered that day. I could not ask for more. Most importantly, of course, thanks to the voters of Ward 3, for your votes, of course, to those of you who are here, but also for all that they taught me in 10 busy weeks of campaigning. I will bring that to this job. And about this job, I am so excited. When our kids first entered DC Public Schools in 2001, DC schools, many of you will remember, were called among the worst in the nation. We are in a different place now, for many reasons, and thanks to many, many people. But our schools are not yet what our kids deserve for what our city needs. The foundation, however, has been laid. Our schools really are ready to climb to the next level. I was at the swearing in this morning of the council, of our new Attorney General and Mayor Bowser. I know from listening to all of you that taking our schools to that next level is a major goal of yours as well. And here's the thing about going to that next level and creating those awesome schools that we want. Awesome schools rarely exist as an island. They survive, they thrive when they're supported by strong policy and strong research, which they get from a strong state education agency backed by a strong state board of education. Our board is new, but thanks to the people before me, it also has established a strong foundation for the hard work we have ahead. I look forward to working with all of you as we take our schools to new levels of awesomeness. Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks. I can't wait to get to work.
Thank you and congratulations. Mark Jones from Ward 5 is not here today, so we're going to go to Joe Whedon, Ward 6. The oath will be administered by Councilmember Charles Allen.
All right. While Amy comes up, just a quick note of thanks to our former Ward 6 Board of Education member, Monica Warren-Jones. And I was very proud that both Monica and myself supported Joe in his campaign. And I think Ward 6 is going to get an outstanding member of the Board of Education. So Joe, are you ready? All right. So please repeat after me. I, Joe Whedon, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the laws of the United States of America and the District of Columbia, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the State Board of Education, which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Thank you, Charles. Amy, thank you. It's an honor to join you in serving Ward 6. Together, I believe we can accomplish great things. In the district, we have two very strong systems of schools. And over the past decade, we've seen tremendous and remarkable resurgence in our public education systems. But we still have a long way to go. Far too many students struggle with the basics. On national testing, up to 80% of our students fail to read at grade level. We can do better, and we will do better. Our challenge as a city is to move beyond the competition that has governed our educational systems and to promote collaboration and cooperation so that each school, and more importantly, every student can thrive. We need a clear vision for how our systems of public education will work together, and we need to better understand how we're spending our public education dollars so that we can make sure we're investing in what works. I will be a champion for increasing academic standards and rigor in our schools, ensuring that students are gaining the knowledge they need to succeed in college and the workplace. I'll be a champion for ensuring that all students receive a well-rounded education that includes music, the arts, physical fitness. I'll be a champion for ensuring that our students have clear pathways from early education through high school. And I'll be a champion for Ward 6, my friends, neighbors, and constituents. Thank you. I would be remiss if I did not thank Ward 6 outgoing member of the State Board of Education for her service. Monica Warren-Jones has done a tremendous job, as did her predecessors, Lisa Raymond and then Council Member Tommy Wells. It's because of their work, and especially that of Councilmember Wells for his years of service on the council, that every elementary school in Ward 6 has a wait list. We will build upon that and make Ward 6 our students and students across the city. And we'll take our lessons learned and help apply them to other schools in other parts of the city so that we have great public education systems in every neighborhood. Charles, thank you. I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Reed. Before we move to the administration of the oath of office for the United States Senator and United States Representative, I do want to acknowledge two student representatives of the State Board of Education who are here, Brian Contreras and Batal Asfahan. And I apologize if I mispronounced your name. We will proceed now to the oath of office. We will begin with the oath for Senator Paul Strauss, who was reelected as the shadow United States Senator. His oath will be administered by the Honorable Corinne Beckwith, who is Associate Judge on the Superior Court.
Good afternoon, everyone. Waiting for Senator Strauss's parents to join us. Are you ready to take the oath, Senator? Okay. I, Paul Strauss,
I, Paul Strauss,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the laws of the United States of America
the laws of the United States of America
and of the District of Columbia,
and of the District of Columbia,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of United States Senator,
the duties of the office of the United States Senator
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Judge Beckwith, for administering the oath. Members of the judiciary don't generally get high fives or singled out. But as we stand here today, democracy took a step forward in the District of Columbia. Earlier today, we swore in the first elected Attorney General in our history. And that would not have been possible without an opinion by Judge Beckwith and her colleagues, Judge Easterly and Judge McLeese from the D.C. Court of Appeals. With that achievement, let us not delude ourselves. Democracy in the District of Columbia may be in for a rough ride for the next couple of years. Our challenges come not just from a new Congress and Senate, led by a party who has not always been a friend of the District of Columbia, but with the losses of some key allies, particularly senators like Mary Landrieu, who helped guide our budget out of the risk of a federal closure by exempting it from the appropriations process in the last budget shutdown. Senators like Mark Begich from Alaska, who introduced and championed our versions of budget autonomy. Senators like Tom Harkin and Ben Nelson, who were instrumental in getting DC included in the Farm Bill, which meant millions of federal dollars for institutions like the University of the District of Columbia. We face a Senate and a Congress that has already shown that they stand ready to disregard the will of our DC voters on issues like Initiative 71 and have threatened our own ability in self-determination when it comes to firearm safety legislation. Members of the DC community, we find ourselves back on defense. This is the fourth time I've been privileged to be elected by DC voters, and I'm honored again to continue my work as DC Senator, whether that institution is ready for DC to have senators or not. We as American citizens deserve the rights and privileges that every American enjoys. We meet the obligations of every American citizen, and it's long past time that we've gotten the equality that we deserve. I was pleased to see so many of our re-elected and newly elected officials address support for DC statehood as fundamental to their platforms and agendas. No greater obligation of any DC elected official exists than changing the disadvantaged and unequal status that we as American citizens lack here in DC, but should enjoy under our Constitution. To those of you that voted for me, I thank you, and one day look forward to being able to return the favor and perhaps vote on your behalf when DC is fully admitted as the 51st state in the Union. Finally, let me thank my parents for coming up, flying down, and getting here today. Your values inspired me to public service, and I continue to draw strength from your examples. To my wife, Kathy, and my children, Abigail and Samantha, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for being here on special days like this today, but also on the less special days when the love and support of my family carries me through difficult times. Thank you to those who serve as ANC commissioners. Congratulations on your election. I was privileged to serve my community as a commissioner before entering this office, and I appreciate all the service that you do. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Senator Strauss. Before we turn to Franklin Garcia, I do want to apologize to Judge Beckwith. I introduced her as Associate Judge in the Superior Court, and she's on the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, so my apologies. We will now have the oath of office for the Honorable Franklin Garcia, who's been elected as the United States Representative, and the oath will be administered by the Honorable Jose Lopez, who's Associate Judge in the Superior Court of the District of Columbia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you ready? Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Franklin Garcia, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the laws of the United States of America and the District of Columbia, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the United States Shadow Representative, which I am about to enter. Congratulations, felicidades.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I want to start by first thanking God and a few special people for making today possible. I want to thank my parents, my sister, and all the family members and friends. Thank you for believing and supporting me. I want to thank Jose Suero for making the connection with Judge Jose Lopez, and of course thank Judge Lopez for the honor of swearing me in today. Thank you. Thank you to my extended family at the DC Latino Caucus and the DC Democratic State Committee. And I especially want to thank all the voters in the District of Columbia for giving me the distinction and honor to represent them in this important position. Finally, a big shout out to all Latinos in DC, because I know for all of them today is a special occasion that they celebrate with me. I am honored to serve as the next U.S. Shadow Representative and promise to do all I can to represent and transmit your will to have the District of Columbia be the next U.S. state in the Union. The journey to get us where we are now has been long and difficult, and it is bound to be more challenging times ahead. But our determination is greater than any challenges we face. For more than 200 years, the people of the District of Columbia have patiently waited for taxation with representation. And we don't question the wisdom of those of our forefathers who chose the area known as the District of Columbia to be our national capital. Indeed, this is a source of much pride today, as it probably was for most people who lived in the city in 1801. But our imperfect human founders could simply not have foreseen all the challenges that laid ahead with the formation of the new nation. Remember, we started counting other people as 3/5 of a person. It wasn't until 1920 that women were allowed to vote. Young people 18 and over had that distinction bestowed on them in 1971. That's why we've made many corrections to continue to move towards the formation of a more perfect union. Core values of the U.S. Constitution include social, economic, and political equality that can't be achieved until the District of Columbia citizens have full representation in the U.S. Congress. It is what the citizens of the District of Columbia want and deserve. And Article 4, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution grants the U.S. Congress the power to admit the District of Columbia as the 51st state in the Union. That is the message that you elected me to carry to the U.S. Congress and to our friends and allies in other states. And with your support, I hope we can get our city the long-due representation it deserves. Thank you, and may God continue to bless the District of Columbia. Congratulations to all the people being sworn in today.
All right, we will turn now to the Advisory Neighborhood Commissioners. And just so you know, a few of us up here have spent part of our lives being ANC commissioners as well. Jack Evans, and actually we're going to begin with Ward 2. Jack Evans is a former commissioner, ANC 2B, chair of ANC 2B. Some of us remember that. That was back when Pierre Lafont was. Let's never do that.
Good afternoon, everyone. What the chairman failed to mention, he was also an ANC commissioner, and together we were elected last century. It's a while ago, but we're still here. So first of all, let me congratulate everyone who has been sworn in thus far today. It's been a long day. Mayor, council members, Attorney General, Board of Education, senators, a whole host of people have been sworn in. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And now ANC commissioners, and I'd like to ask all of the ANC commissioners from Ward 2 to come forward. And while you're coming forward, I just want to say this on behalf of myself and I'm sure everyone. We want to thank all of you who have run and successfully won seats on the advisory neighborhood commissions throughout the District of Columbia. You do great work. Your voice is given great weight, and it actually is. We listen to you. You do a wonderful job in presenting and representing people in your neighborhood. So keep up the good work. I served on the ANC for a while and was chaired an ANC, and it was one of the best jobs I had in the District of Columbia. So again, thank you all. As the members from Ward 2 come forward, I'm going to read off their names. From ANC 2A, we have Patrick Kennedy, Rebecca Cotter, John Williams, William K. Smith, Philip Schrafer, Florence, pardon me? Schrafer, all right, get that right. Florence Harmon, Jackson Carnes, and Peter Sacco. From ANC 2B, Mike Feldstein, Daniel Warwick, Stephanie Maltz, Michael Upright, Abigail Nichols, Mike Silverstein, Justin Underhill, Nicole Mann, and Noah Smith. From ANC 2C, John Tint, Harold Kloster, and Jeffrey Higgins. From ANC 2D, the smallest ANC in the city, David Bender and Ellen Goldstein. And from ANC 2E, Ed Solomon, Ron Lewis, Jeffrey Jones, Kendall Clausen, Bill Sterles, Tom Birch, Monica Roche, and Reed Howard. And finally from ANC 2F, Catherine Gordon, Karen Berry, Pepin Tuma, John Fanning, Jim Lamar, Charlie Bengal, Kevin Sylvester, and Kevin Deli. Okay, that's everyone. And again, congratulations on your win for the ANC. And I will now proceed to swear everyone in. And so if you can all raise your right hands, okay? And repeat after me. I, and state your name, having been duly elected as a commissioner of the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia, do solemnly swear or affirm that I, and state your name, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commissions, to the best of my ability without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations. Big round of applause.
Turns out we have one copy of the oath on the stage, and Mr. Evans almost walked off with it, because nobody else can be sworn in. There is an important detail, and that is commissioners who are here and are coming up to the stage, and I think originally we didn't plan on folks coming up to the stage, but the precedent has been set. You may take the oath of office and raise your hand and do so publicly, but you also have to sign the oath. And I'm told there is a table outside this room where you can sign the oath and you can leave it in a box. You have to do that. Just being up on the stage is not enough with regard to taking the oath of office. We will turn next to Ward 7. One of the best wards. And the oath will be administered by the Honorable Councilmember Yvette Alexander.
You don't have to tell Ward 7 to come up. They come on up. Let's go, Ward 7. Good afternoon. And as all of my commissioners are standing, I will read the names. ANC 7B, Patricia Howard Chittums, Tiffany L. Brown, Gary E. Butler, Philip J. Hammond, Robin Hammond Marlin, Donovan Anderson, Marcus Turner. 7C, Patricia Malloy, Greg Stewart, Catherine A. Woods, Walter J. Garcia II, Mary L. Gaffney, Jennifer K. Crosby, Antoine Holmes. ANC 7D, Bob Coomer, Siraj M. Hassan, Dorothy Douglas, Claude B. McKay, Janice D. Hazel, Sharice A. Muhammad, Justin A. Leaney. ANC 7E, Linda S. Green, Rosa A. Hamlet, Rochelle Bent, Maxine Nightingale, Linda Holmes. 7F, Edward Rhodes, Ebony Rose Thompson, Sheila M. Carson Carr, Yolanda Armstrong, Karen Settles, and Elizabeth H. Travers. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would all have a moment of silence. One commissioner who was near and dear to me passed away the Sunday before Christmas, December 21st. He served one term and he was elected to a second term. He is from the Benning Ridge community and he really worked hard for Ward 7 and for the District of Columbia. A moment of silence for Commissioner George B. Brown, Jr. Thank you. And now, commissioners, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name, having been duly elected as Commissioner of the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions, of the District of Columbia, do solemnly affirm. And I state your name, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of the said commissions, to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment, and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties, and I will support statehood in the District of Columbia. Congratulations.
next ward commissioners that will be sworn in are from Ward 1. One of the best wards in the city. And the oath of office will be administered by Councilmember Brianne Nadeau.
Come on up, Ward 1. As a former ANC myself, it is a privilege to swear everybody in today, and as they are assembling, I will read their names. Marvin L. Johnson, Josue Salmarone, Tom Gordon, Matthew Goldschmidt, Patrick Flynn, Darwin Frost, Kent C. Bass, Bobby Holmes, Rashida Brown, Dottie Love Wayne, Margaret Hundley, Brian Footer, Helen Nedra Sullivan, Cedric Mohammed, Kevin Kane, Nicholas Barrios, Jessica Laura Smith, Mark Ransom, James A. Turner, Allison N. Carpenter, Rob Hudson, John C. Green, Samantha P. Hicks, Hector Flesoy, Ted Guthrie, Gabriella Mossi, Alan Gambrill, William Simpson, Wilson Reynolds, John Mark P. Buffa, Franco Agbro, Adam Hoey, Jack McKay, Rosa Rivas, and Arturo Griffith. Assembled, commissioners? If you could please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been duly elected as a commissioner of the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia, do solemnly swear that I state your name, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commissions, to the best of my ability without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations.
A reminder again that commissioners have to sign the oath and leave their tables in the back just outside of this room. Sign the oath and then leave it in, I believe they're boxes, collection boxes. The next ward, ANC commissioners to be sworn in will be Ward 5. I can't hear you. The oath will be administered by Councilmember McDuffie. You need to come back up here to do that.
I'm not sure if they heard, but Ward 5 is coming up to the stage. So, before we get started, let me take an opportunity to recognize the A&T Commissioners for Ward 5. From Commission 5A, Frank Wilds, Grace Lewis, Adrian Jordan, Ronnie Edwards, Jasmine White, Sandy Washington, Angel Austin. From 5B, Gail Hall Carlin, Ursula Higgins, Michael Morrison, Jose Barrios, John Feeling. From NT5C, Gail Bavard, Walter Dillion, Robert Luper III, Jacqueline Manning, Regina James, Monique Smith, Nolan Treadway. From NT5D, Hedegay Lewis, Keisha Shropshire, Adam Roberts, Bernice Blackwell, Kathy Henderson, H. Yvonne Buggs, Clarence Lee. From ANC5E, Debbie Smith, Steiner, Christy Love Davis, Renee Lewis, Sylvia Pinckney, Bradley Ashton Thomas, Turgeneine Quinn, Bertha Holliday, Austin Pearl, C. Diane Barnes, and Sally Hobart. If you all take a moment to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Have been duly elected as a commissioner of the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I state your name. Will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commissions to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations, Ward 5 Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner. Let's go to work.
Congratulations, Ward 5. The next ward will be the commissioners from Ward 4. As you've probably noticed that the oath of office has been administered by the council member from the particular ward, and Ward 4, as of today, does not have a council member. However, it does have a mayor. And so we're honored that Mayor Muriel Bowser is here to administer the oath of office for the commissioners from Ward 4.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations to all Advisory Neighborhood Commissioners, and I'm delighted to be joined by Ward 4's Advisory Neighborhood Commissioners on the stage. And let me acknowledge them by name. From ANC 4A, Aquanetta Anderson, Dwayne Tolliver, Steve Watley, Patience Singleton, Kimberly Worthy, Carrie Braxton, Dave Wilson, and Gail Black. From Advisory Neighborhood Commission 4B, Andre Carley, Frank Jones, Fred Grant, Brenda Parks, Brenda Speaks, Ronald Austin, Judy Jones, Camille Stewart, and Douglas Sloan. From Advisory Neighborhood Commission 4C, Taladin Gupta, Joseph Maloney, Jeffrey Standish, Ricky Williams, Zach Tosh, Van Dyke Galloway, John Paul C. Hayward, Timothy Jones, Joseph Martin, Kathleen Crowley. From ANC Commission 4D, Nancy Roth, Renee Bowser, Lisa Colbert, David Shane, Crystal Branton, and Bill Quirk. And may I also acknowledge from Advisory Commission 3G, the Ward 4 members of 3G, Carolyn Cook, Shonda Tuck Garfield, Randy Speck, and Rebecca Majak. Commissioners, would you raise your right hand, please? I, in your name, having been duly elected Commissioner of Advisory Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commission, to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser, and again, congratulations to the commissioners from Ward 4, and remember, you have to sign the document outside the room. The next ward, Ward 6. Commissioners from Ward 6, the oath of office will be administered by Councilmember Charles Allen.
All right, Ward 6, come on up. Let's show, I think Ward 6 can do this on the first try. Remember, there are two sides to the stage, so we are going to spread out really well here. And as our Ward 6 commissioners come up, let me read off their names. From ANC 6A, we have Omar Mahmoud, Phil Tamajian, Chris Ward, Matt Levy, Patrick Malone, Stephanie Zimney, Sandra Phillips Gilbert, and my commissioner, Calvin Ward. ANC 6B, we have Jennifer Semlik, Diane Hoskins, James Lotz, Kirsten Oldenburg, Steve Hagedorn, Nick Berger, Daniel Cho, Chandler Jeyerman, Brian Flavin, and Denise Rucker-Krepp. In ANC 6C, we have Danielle Megan Schiffman, Karen Wirt, Scott Price, Mark Eckenweiler, Chris Miller, Tony Goodman. In 6D, Marjorie Lightman, Stacy Braverman-Cloyd, Rachel Riley Carroll, Andy Litsky, Roger Moffitt, Rhonda Natalie Hamilton, Meredith Fawcett, and in ANC 6E, we have Alexander M. Padro, Kevin Chappell, Frank S. Wiggins, Rochelle P. Nigro, Marge Maceda, Antonio Barnes, and Alfreda S. Judd. Now, Ward 6 does have an at-large council member that claims Ward 6 as her home. So I'm going to break from a little tradition and ask Councilmember Alyssa Silverman to come up and join me to help administer the oath. All right, so commissioners, you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, having been duly elected as a commissioner of the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia, do solemnly swear or affirm that I state your name, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commissions, to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations again. We're down to 2 wards. The next ward will be Ward 3. And the oath will be administered by Councilmember Mary O'Shea.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to perform this function because we rely so heavily all the time on our ANC commissioners. And as they come to this stage, I'm going to start reading their names from ANC 3B, Ann Lane Gladnoff, Jackie Blumenthal, Abigail Zenner, Mary C. Young, Brian Termale, from Advisory Commission 3C, Lee Brian Reba, Gwendolyn Lowell, David Valdez, Margaret Siegel, Carl Roller, Victor Silvera, Catherine May, Nancy McWood. From Advisory Neighborhood Commission 3D, though I understand some might be sworn in at their next meeting, but I will read all of their names. William Spence Spencer, Thomas Smith, Nan Wells, Stu Ross, Alma Gates, Stephen Gardner, Regina Monge, Mike Gold, Conrad DeWitt, Sylvia Lucero. From Advisory Neighborhood Commission 3E, and I understand some will be sworn in by me tonight, I think at some bar, I'm not sure. Ann Wallace, Amy Hall, Jonathan Bender, Tom Quinn, Jonathan McHugh. Advisory Neighborhood Commission 3F, Adam Toth, Karen Perry, Mary Beth Ray, Sally Gresham, Andrea Malad, Malachi Nugent, Patrick Patrick Jakopchek. All of those people come up. And then from Advisory Neighborhood Commission 3G, as Mayor Bowser mentioned, we share an Advisory Neighborhood Commission. She called up the members from Ward 4. The members from Ward 3 are Peter Shapiro, Dan Bradfield, and Chris Fromboludi. Is everybody here? Are we ready? Okay. Please raise your right hand. I, and state your name. Having been duly elected as a commissioner of the Advisory Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia, do solemnly swear or affirm that I, again state your name, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and that I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commissions to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations to you all.
Last but not least, Ward 8. It is a moment to remember the late Marion Berry, who, but for a month or two ago, would have been here today to administer the oath. I will be administering the oath for the Ward 8 commissioners. As they come up, let me read their names from ANC 8A, Holly Muhammad, Barbara Clark, Cynthia Sims, Troy Dante Crestwood, Charles Wilson, Tina Fletcher, Natalie Williams. From ANC 8B, Khadija Watson, Paul Trantham, Kevin Vaughn, Anthony Lorenzo Green, Betty Scipio, Jacques Patterson. From ANC 8C, Jeffrey McCoy, Teresa Stith, Mary Cuthbert, Marcus Batchelor, Brenda Shields, Rhonda Edwards Hines, Charles Lindsay. From ANC 8D, Patricia Carmen, Olivia Henderson, Absalom Jordan, Monique Diop, Thomas Ruffin, Teresa Jones. And from ANC 8E, Marvin Lee, Anthony Muhammad, Anthony Jamal Daly, Shakita McBroom, Christopher Hawthorne, Carlene Armstead, and Stephen Slaughter. Let me thank all of you for your willingness to serve, and those who have, were re-elected, congratulations, but thank you for your prior service as well. Also, I didn't say this earlier, and I probably should have. I did acknowledge that there are a number of us, and Jack Evans outed me, who've been ANC commissioners. I was a commissioner for 20 years. And I learned through that the work of the ANCs is really the front line in terms of quality of life for our neighborhoods. And a lot of the work that you all do is work that doesn't get adequately appreciated by those of us at City Hall or sometimes by our own neighbors. So thank you very much for your service. It is important, and it does make the ability of our government to function and function responsibly makes it easier. So if you are ready, I'm going to, I guess I'll say a couple times, state your name, and you will state your name. You'll have to repeat after me. If you would raise your right hand. I state your name. Having been duly elected as a commissioner of the Advisor Neighborhood Commissions of the District of Columbia, do solemnly swear or affirm that I, state your name, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that I will perform such duties as may be assigned to me as a member of said commissions to the best of my ability, without fear or favor, that I will exercise my best judgment and will consider each matter before me from the viewpoint of the best interest of the District of Columbia as a whole, and that I will faithfully discharge said duties. Congratulations. Now remember, it's not official until you sign the document. This is Commissioner Cuthbert. In case any of you don't know, that's Commissioner Cuthbert.
I'll tell you that happens not
O God of the universe, in whose shadow we stand and by whose spirit we live, move, and have our very being, now that those who have been duly elected to leadership in our great city have been properly sworn in and entrusted with both the privilege and the authority to govern, may they and we be reminded that the government is indeed on your shoulders, and that they are not only accountable to the citizens of the District of Columbia, but also to you. Therefore, let every act that they perform in their respective areas of responsibility be done with the highest degree of care, compassion, and competency. Let them be fair and just in their assessments, real and righteous in their governance, and let their words be aligned with their actions. Above all, let their diligence be evident to all, that your people who reside here in the District of Columbia may indeed be free to enjoy those inalienable rights that you have bestowed upon every man, woman, boy, and girl: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Bless each of these whom you have called for such a time as this, and bless the works of their hands, we pray. And now may the Lord indeed bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. And may the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.